Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. My name is Leon Jones. This evening's topic, I'm going to talk about the justice system in black men. The justice system in black men. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the justice system is not fair. In fact, what happened to Bill Cosby is an atrocity. You have all these women running around like they've actually won something. Okay, their victory is temporary, but they must remember that there will be an appeal in this process. My only question is, as a black man, and I know everything is not fair with us, life is not fair, but when it comes to this judicial system, what happened to due process for Bill Cosby? What happened to it? You're going to tell me all 60 of these women were raped? Now, even before Bill Cosby, believe it or not, people forget back in 1992, right here in my state of Indiana, it was in Indianapolis at a hotel where a young 18-year-old model went up to the heavyweight champion's hotel room at 3 o'clock in the morning. His name was Mike Tyson. She claims he raped her. Now, let me ask you something. You're a man and you got a woman coming up to your hotel room at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're not going to be doing any talking. You're going to be ready to rock and roll. And then after that, you're either going to go to sleep or you're going to start all over again. Now, what happened to Mike Tyson? He went to jail. He was never the same. Going to politics. There was an African American by the name of Herman Cain. And I put that on Ringo TV Raw's video because he does a channel called Blackmail Advice. One of his commenters said he never heard of Herman Cain. Herman Cain ran for president in 2012. He was the one with the 999 tax plan. He owned Godfather's Pizza. Well, two white women came out and said that he sexually assaulted him or them. And what happened, he had to withdraw from the presidential race. Now, my question is, these successful brothers, why didn't they get due process? Well, they didn't get due process because as a black man, the justice system isn't fair. In fact, 2 trials have changed the way women think. You had the OJ trial. That's when all of the domestic violence commercials, Violence Against Women Act came out, and now you have the Me Too and the Time's Up movement. They took down Bill Cosby. But it's funny how these other gentlemen, such as Harvey Weinstein, Anthony Weiner, and you have others who are Caucasian, like Matt Lauer, and now Tom Brokaw's name has come up for sexual misconduct, another accusation. But do you think any of these guys are going to see a courtroom? No, they're not going to see a courtroom. They're not even going to see a lawyer. These guys all have money. And the biggest thing is they're part of the elite establishment. Now, what I see is a number of these women who took down Cosby, they've gotten older. And I'm going to be sarcastic when I say this, time's up for them. They're not going to get the benefits, especially when some of the government benefits get cut. You're going to see a number of women go after powerful men for their money. And this is how it's always been. Now, as a black man, what do we have to do with this justice system? Well, we can either talk about it or do something about it. But to do something about it, it's going to take work. It's not going to be overnight. And as a black man, or as a black man, should we join a men's movement? Because when it comes to a number of men's movements, they're not successful. Men just don't organize like women. In fact, the people who we have to fight are not women. We have to fight other men. And because we as black men have to fight other men, these men who we're fighting are the simps, the manginas, the white knights, and the eunuchs. They allow women to get away with their nonsense. And a lot of these men have power. A lot of these men are elitists. They're your politicians. They're your judges. They're your professors. They're your media moguls. These are the guys that allow women to do whatever they want. And as a black man, you can't do whatever you want. And as a black man, we get crap coming from all angles. And I'm talking about the elites don't like us. Hell, if you look at it, I'm not saying all of them, but a number of our women don't like us. Because you can hear a number of them repeating everything about us. And when you hear the vitriol that comes out of their mouth, you think a Klan member is talking to a brother. The way a number of them disrespect us. Now, again, it's not all of them. So please, sisters, if you come to my channel, miss me with that nonsense. But I am going to tell the truth. But when it comes to a black man, I just believe we have let each other down. We're too busy fighting each other. We'll never get through this system if we don't understand the system. But I believe as black men, we're too jealous and we hate each other. If we can't get through our own problems that we have with each other, we can't communicate with each other, how in the hell do you think we're going to take on this big system? And the biggest problem when it comes to black men, yes, we know the system is not fair. Child support is after us. It's very difficult for us to get jobs. We're not wanted in the corporate world. Yes, we do work. We work with our hands. And yes, there are a number of black men who do have college degrees. In fact, between 18 and 24, you have more black men with college degrees than black men in jail. That's proven. You go check the CDC. You check the census. That's where you get your information, because the CDC, the census, and other government statistics are accurate because they give you an accurate sample, because they have a large pool of people that they can categorize. But when it comes to the African American male, we look like the bad guy because of some bad guys. We go into a store, we're monitored. Now the Starbucks situation. I didn't do a video on that because a number of people did a video I don't really know what happened, but from what I heard, there were a couple of guys sitting there waiting for a friend. Now, this is what I would have done from my own personal experience if I would have gone into Starbucks. You don't have to agree with me or not. I would have bought something or had a cup of water. Because I know when I go into an establishment, no matter how educated I look, I always assume in those establishments that I'm going to be the guy that they're going to target. Because for the most part, Starbucks is an uppity place. I don't go into Starbucks, but I have been in there before. In fact, I haven't been in Starbucks since 2002. I don't like their coffee, but I know what type of establishment it is because I've seen the type of people who go in that establishment. And when we deal with establishments, particularly they're white owned, and you get an individual who's going to call the police, well, once they do that, we put ourselves at a disadvantage because you never know what's going through that policeman's head. He could take his billy club and knock us upside the head. He could take his gun and put a bullet in our head. The bottom line, brothers, when we go to any establishment, whether we agree with it or not, number one, we got to know that life is never going to be fair. We are held to a higher standard than other races. We need to know that. This is why we have to present ourselves better. Because where people like Dylan Roof, he went into that black church, killed 9 people, he's on death row. Is he going to die? I don't know. Look what happened at the Waffle House shooting where a white boy came and killed 4 black people. And then you had a black man, a 29-year-old who was a hero. Do you hear anything about that? No. Where's Jesse Jackson? Where's Al Sharpton? They're nowhere around either. The point that I'm making is no matter what we do as black men, the system is never going to be fair to us. And we have to understand that. So the only way that we're going to have credence is we're going to have to build our own community, even if we don't have black women in our community. But if we go out and build our own community, we have to keep it hush-hush. Why? Because you look at Bill Cosby. He went out again, wanted to buy NBC. That was his mistake. Because if he had bought NBC, that would have been a threat to the white power structure. They didn't want that. In fact, a number of them will allow us to make money, but they want to control the amount of money we made. And if you look at people like Dave Chappelle, he rejected a $54 million offer, and I know why he did it, because he didn't want to be controlled. Now, a number of black people would have called him stupid for doing that, but no. You have to understand that when you are under the guise of somebody else, you have to do what they say. And to me, as a black man, when I go to work, I feel like a slave because my work is not appreciated. I have to work long hours for little money, don't get promotions, and I see people who come in with less experience than I do or that I have who get promoted and they're my boss and they get to treat me any way they want. The corporate world is not made for black men. And we have to understand that. And again, the corporate world is a joke anyway, but this court system is never going to be fair to us as black men. Because too many black men have gone in and out of the court system. They've been put away in a jail cell. Once they get a record, they can't get a job. But you get this white boy, he can commit the same type of crime, he may get out on bond or he'll get a lighter jail sentence and come out and get a job. This is white supremacy at its best. And when you're held to a high standard, that means you got to work a lot harder as a black man. And I hate to say it, we got to be real. The system has never been on our side, brothers, and it will never be on our side. And whether you like it or not, we're all we got. And since you know the system isn't on our side, my question to a number of brothers is, why do we have trouble communicating with each other? Is it the fact that we're oppressed? We're angry? Do we let our egos get in the way? Do we let our emotions get in the way? Are a number of us psychologically damaged? I don't know. But I guarantee you what I just mentioned does come into play. The problem with us as black men is a number of us are all over the place. We're fighting each other. You get the street guys fighting the educated guys. You get the married men fighting the unmarried men. You get the athletes and all of us are filled with drama. And a number of us black men, the reason why we won't get ahead is because too many of us act like females sometimes. You got some of us simping. You got some of us trying to be masculine. But at the end of the day, we're not getting anywhere. And the reason why we're not getting anywhere is because a number of us have the crabs in the barrel mindset. Jealousy, envy. We're afraid that somebody's going to do better than us. We make the system difficult for us. We make it easy for the white establishment to do what they do with us. Hell, the way it's going, black men have put the Klan out of business. You look at every metropolitan area, whether it's Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Milwaukee, 52% of the homicides in America are black on black crime. We talk about the out of wedlock pregnancy rate. Certainly women have a lot to answer for in that department, but so do men, black men. You have a number of black men who are irresponsible, who are dusty, who are impregnating women, and they're not taking care of their children. If you're not going to be in your child's life, at least pay the bill. You have a number of men who, just like slavery, have been taken away from their families because of welfare policies. And of course, some of the sisters in the past have to answer for that because they decided to get on board white feminism. You see where I'm going with this, brothers? The system is not fair. It was never fair. I mean, we're called out on television in the 1990s, on Ricky Lake, Oprah, Montel Williams, how bad we are, how lazy we are. And the moment we get a voice, guess what? Our channels are taken down from a popular social media site called YouTube and Twitch. And what the system wants to do with black men is to control black men. And want to control how we think. The Democratic Party doesn't want any black man to leave the plantation. Why? Because that's less votes they get. If you look at the last presidential election, 13% of black men voted Republican. That doesn't happen too much. But as black men, we do have to vote with our feet. But we also must understand that the system is never going to be fair to us. And if we can't get every black man on board to work with us, then we have to get black men who have like minds. Eventually, the Dirty Dick Rodneys, the Pookies and the Ray Rays, the Skillets, they'll die out. Because one big problem that I see with black men is you get some individuals out there who think that your educated black men should go back to the hood and try to rebuild the community, even though they weren't there to mess it up in the first place. That doesn't make sense. But we have to remember, no matter where we come from as black men, we're still black men. But yes, just because you look like me doesn't make us brothers. And when we have a conversation as black men, there are going to be some positions that you take that I agree with, and you take that I don't disagree with. And there are going to be some positions that I take that you agree with, and some positions that I take that you don't agree with. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the system, it doesn't matter. We're black men. We're all going to be treated the same way. The bottom line is, we as black men have to get our own house in order by learning how to understand the system. And that's going to take some education. It doesn't matter where you come from. In order to defeat the system or build another system, you can't come in there with brute force. Now, I did see a video with those two brothers in Starbucks. They really wanted to exert brute force. No, you have to use your mind. This is what the police want you to do, because they want you to give them a reason to knock you upside your head, to put a bullet in you. But if you use your brains and understand the system, you're going to have better results. And first of all, as black men, knowing that the system isn't fair, if you get pulled over, make sure you don't have any felonies. A number of the videos that I've seen that black men have gotten killed, they had some type of felony. They owed child support. They had a warrant for their arrest for something that they did. Well, when you have a clean record, I'm not saying that a police or police men or police women, I'm not going to say that they're not going to put a bullet in you, because you have a number of them out there who are screwed up themselves. They have ego problems, and I respect police officers. I know a few police officers here in Portage and in Gary, Indiana. They're all not bad. But you have a number of them out there who are racist. And they want to exert that power on you, and they want a reason to take you down. Don't give them a reason. And when it comes to domestic violence, as black men, if you are in a situation, be a man enough to walk away. Because you look at what happened to Bill Cosby. Accusations without due process don't mean anything. See, when you're a black man, you're going to go to jail. Let me give you another example. Ronald Isley, who sings with the Isley Brothers, Wesley Snipes. They didn't pay their taxes. They ended up in jail. But look at Willie Nelson. He didn't end up in jail. He's still running around. In fact, he's getting ready to put out another album. But when you have a strike against you on your record, you're at a disadvantage. Now, we're already 2 strikes behind everybody else. But the minute we do something, our ship will be sunk. And it's very hard when your ship is sunk to get it back afloat. But as a black man, you must remember the war that we're going through is coming from all directions. The court system is not the only part of the system. It's a number of our women, it's white men, it's white women, it's media. It is all these conglomerates. But I will tell you this as black men. It's funny with all that's going on, we're still here. But we still have to understand that the system is never going to be fair to us. And once we understand that, it's going to be a lot easier for us to deal with the world. And ever since President Obama and Donald Trump have gotten into office, and I've seen it myself, black men have been getting treated even worse. So the only thing I can say to us as black men, we can work together. And if we can't, we find people who have like minds, who are willing to work together. And from there, we can put our heads together as a collective and build something. But we can't talk about it. And also, as black men, we need to get out of trying to find leaders to tell us what to do. Listen, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King are not coming back. They set the precedents, but we'll never go back to that day. And if they were alive, they would look at us as being losers, because the platform that they set up for us was for us to be winners. But when it comes to the problems of the system, we also cause our own demise. I have to keep it balanced here. We allow ourselves to be stereotyped, or in that stereotype, because of our behavior. But as black men, we got to get the chips off our shoulders. Now, should we join a group like MGTOW? That's an individual choice. In fact, if you are a MGTOW brother, give me an understanding of what MGTOW is. Put your comment in the comment section. Or if you're ignorant, let me know what your philosophy is. Because I believe brothers, they need to organize in a way that they can defeat this system. Because the only thing we know is how to do everything tribalistic. And that's with brute force. We always lose that way. But if we learn how the system works as black men, again, we can live much better lives. But we also have to remember who our friends and enemies are. Because as I told you, we have a number of our women who don't want to deal with us, but we also have a number of other brothers who don't want to deal with us either. But our main enemy, believe it or not, is our own jealousy for each other, our own envy, and our own hatred for each other. And if we can't combat that, there's no way we're going to defeat this system. And if you don't believe me, look at what's going on around you. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, the last day of April, Monday, April 30th, 2018. You can tune into the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest calling number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I don't engage in emotion, controversy, or debates, nor do I participate in drama and or unnecessary bickering because it is counterproductive. What I do on this channel is give you education. This is a self-awareness channel. So the information that I present to you is presented in a positive way, but realistic, because what I want you to do is understand how the real world works, just as with tonight's topic dealing with black men and the system. Because when you have knowledge, you have power. And if you have a topic, a new YouTube channel or business that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, simply email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video, but make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other and have a wonderful and blessed night. God bless you.